Good evening, everyone. I call to order the June 18th, 2025 legislative meeting. Let's stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please, Kelly.
Tamara Allen Thomas.
Present.
Laura Arthrell. She's not online.
Laura's not online. Okay.
Mike Belmont.
Here.
Sonika Griffin.
Here.
Karen Lyons.
Here.
Sarah Rozewski.
Here.
Dornika Reed.
Here.
Melanie Timbers.
Here.
Carrie Lawson.
Here. Tonight in executive session, we spoke about real estate, security, and that was about it. All right. We have a presentation this evening from Dr. Pam White in regards to pupil service programs and overview. Dr. White.
All right, I'm sorry, guys, I like to talk about data.
Yes.
My version will be 5 minutes.
Mike.
Or maybe a month or so, that Mr. Belmont asked me to present to you all about our district providers. So today I'm basically going to talk about who's currently in our district, and then I'm going to talk about who we fund, and then out of those programs that we fund, who I plan to bring back. As long as you guys approve it. All right, so in our district this year, we had Big Brothers, and that's the list that's in front of you. We have Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the Carlo Clinic, Divas of Peace, Claire Vita, which is our counseling, Dream, Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank. We were funded this year by them to start our own food pantry for our students. We use the Homeless Children's Education Fund. We had Food HSAO, In-Depth Truth Program, which is an anti-bait program, the Just Discipline Project, Men of Valor. We utilize the Neighborhood Resilience Project, Project Elect, Oasis, One Nation, PAR, Parents as Allies, the Peace Project, Power Up. We utilize TCB for both staff and prevention groups. We have the Teen Outreach Program, the Cool Zone, Turn Up Your Life, STEM Stars, Strong Women, Strong Girls in the West Line. We also utilize several medical programs. So we have the Center for Hearing. They provide services for our students who are deaf or hard of hearing. We have the Metro Mobile Health Clinic. We have the PA Mobile Dentist. We have a partnership with UPMC Children's Turtle Creek. And then we have Vision Alert. All right, so out of that list, these are the programs that we are currently funding. I did not include Dion Rawlings on that list since we consulted with her. But we are currently paying for Dion Rawlings, HSAO, One Nation, Turn Up Your Life, and Westline. Out of the programs that we don't fund but are funded by grants, unfortunately, we are going to lose programs. And the programs that we are going to lose are, we're going to feel the effects of it. It's just like when furlough teachers or you don't fill positions, you know, everyone feels that burden. With these programs, we are going to feel the effects of it. Carlo Clinic back in February sent us an email saying, hey, we may lose our funding. And then they sent us another email saying, no, we're not going to lose our funding. And then they just sent me an email about 3 weeks ago saying that they are going to lose their funding. And if they can't secure any more grants, they will be done in December. That is a huge hit to us. You know, they really have been working with our students who don't have insurance. They helped, you know, really run our resiliency room, and they are just bodies every day in our district. As a result of us losing Carlo, we're now going to lose our family engagement specialist. She helped, her name was Javon, she helped kind of bridge the gap between the school and the community. As a result of losing her, we are going to potentially lose the in-depth true anti-vaping program, because she also ran that program as well. The Just Discipline Project, Pitt reached out to us probably about mid-year. Me and Dr. Wilson told us that, their funding was ending. They mentioned that they were looking to secure more funding. But they mentioned that the grantees, they wanted us to kind of take charge of the program, and they wanted to back out. They have not heard anything about funding. So unfortunately, all the Just Discipline coordinators were told in March that we're not gonna have a job for the upcoming school year. Another huge loss to our district. They've been in our district for how long now? 5, 6, 6 years. And they really, those coordinators really became a part of our team. They helped support our students when it came to like mediations. They helped support our students when it came to restorative circles. And they really just were a part of our team. Then, all that, it was just like, everything just, yep. Snowball. Yeah, it was like a snowball effect. The pool zone reached out to me, in January. And they said that UPMC was pulling their program. So every school that has a pool zone now will no longer have a pool zone. Another huge loss, we had, through that program, a team of people were there to support students, who had some high needs. I have been working with Heidi Saxon from the county to see if there are any other programs that we can replace that with, but everything boils down to funding and the lack thereof. As I mentioned, losing these programs, we will feel the effects of it. Simply because these are not programs that are just in our schools 1 or 2 times a week. They're in our schools every day. And those are just more bodies that help support our students. And so when you take that away, we're definitely going to build up that. All right, so here's where we're at. Jill, I went to Jill, and I'm like, Jill, okay, how much do I have? Like, what do we have? And so we're pretty much at this point going from the dollar bills to pennies. We had ESSERs, we had SEEKs, we had PCCD grants, and, receiving all of those grants really showed us as school districts what we really need to really support our students successfully. Now that all that's gone away, I think what we're going to see at this point is really the inequities in every school district. We went from having the grants to now we're really solely just relying on district funds. They did release, I think they're going to start releasing those PCCD grants, and we're going to hopefully apply for some of those. But this is where we're at. So what does that mean for me? Just really for me, how can we really stabilize our district? We're losing programs that we're not funding. And then we're obviously, with the amount of money that Jill gave me, we're going to lose programs that we're funding. And so pretty much what I asked myself, in the words of Tupac, who said, she's trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. So I'm like, okay, how can we make $1 out of 15 cents? That's pretty much where we're at. So what I asked myself was, these were some of the questions that I asked myself when figuring out who can we bring back. As I stated, the amount of money that Jill said that I have pretty much really would pay for a provider and a half. That's pretty much it. And I think we paid for, is it 6 or 7 providers, right? So I asked myself, how can we get the most for our money? Does the provider work with students? And I asked myself that because we are paying for a consultant, and the consultant is there for us and not the students. And so, that's something to consider. How many contacts with students were made during the 24-25 school year? What impact does the program make on the students and the school? What programs are present for the community and the families beyond the program? So I was taking a look at, are the programs there beyond just the program? Are they there? Are they present for the students in the community? Are they present for their families? How are they really impacting the school and the community, the family? I also asked myself, could the program support some of the students from those grant funded programs that we're losing? And then do we have the ability to still get the programming with a reduced amount? Are there free programs available that can replace some of these programs that we pay for? And then at this point, it really is, how can we better utilize our social workers, our school counselors, and our intervention? All right, so this year, for 24-25 school year, we paid for, as I stated, Dion Rawlings, Hoop, HSAO, One Nation, Turn Up Your Life in the West Lions program. We're going to, potentially, I'm going to present to you all contracts for 4 or 3 actually. And that's Hoop, HSAO, and One Nation. West Lions, he has a 3-year contract. So this will be his 3rd year, in his contract. So we're going to uphold that contract. And Jill was able to kind of find some money from a previous grant that we can kind of fit him. The contract that they provided us or will provide us, is specifically for elementary and middle school students. However, they did add on high school, so that wasn't a part of their original contract. This past school year, they worked with 51 of some of our most delicate families. They, in their contract, state that they're in the school 2 times a month. However, they are present for parent meetings. They're also present for the family. They're also in the community working with the families. And then they are present when a student needs them. So there have been times that the schools have called that volunteer and said, hey, the student's really struggling. And they were present beyond just the 2 times a month that was in their contract. Thankfully, their curriculum is developed by one of our educators. So that's pretty good. She lost her sibling. And she is just a wonderful person. The building, Edgewood loves her. All of their Hoop volunteers go through extensive training on grief. They learn how to de-escalate students. And then they also learn when it's beyond their control, that they need to get someone who's a little more trained to help support a student. Some of the sessions, they provided me with notes. Some of the sessions that they did work on get to know me, understanding emotion that grief presents. They worked on coping skills, they worked on resiliency, they worked on self-regulation, and then some of the activities that they did was creating holiday memory plates. They did a blue lantern activity for Grief Awareness Day, and then they created like Christmas ornaments. They do have an end of the year pool party. We do utilize Hoop as part of our district crisis response plan. Anytime we lose a student to gun violence, or we lose a student in general, or a family has fire. We kind of started a few years ago, as I mentioned, an email, a mail chain, and they help support the family in that manner in another way. They bridge the gap between the school and community. As I mentioned previously, that's important to me. You know, I remember a family that they helped, they worked with. The family was really struggling with connecting to the school. And at the time, we didn't know what the issues were, but they helped coach the family and sharing with the school, you know, what was going on with them, and it helped us see the family in a different way. They also keep schools informed about data surrounding anniversaries. So as you know, when students experience grief, you may see an uptick in behavior around the anniversary of the death. So they keeping us informed about those dates helps us approach the student gingerly. And then out of Hoop, the Peace Ambassadors program and these are the Peace program. All right, so the plan for next year, I went to Hoop and I was like, look, we don't got no money. And I just was frank with them. I said, we don't have money. And their response was, we just want to be in the school. And I can respect that level of response. And I appreciated it. So the good thing about them is they are currently meeting with Senator Costa to secure their own funding. So we won't be a funder of them. So that is their plan. But until that happened, they agreed to significantly reduce their funding, the funding we provide them, so that they can continue to remain in the school. As long as you guys approve it in August. And from the data that they presented to me, we plan on just having them in Edgewood, Dixon, and then they still will be at the high school. And then they'll support Turtle Creek and Wilkins on an as needed basis. All right, HSAO is a program that we definitely want to bring back. They provide behavioral health service coordination for families. They really build upon the strengths of the families, and they try to help connect them with physical health services, opportunities in the community, and just to basically increase the family's livelihood. This past year, they worked with 30. They had a caseload of 30, which is pretty high. And then they had a waiting list of 30. referral. So that's how high that's the need of this program. I went to Ms. Mullins, who runs the program, and again I said, we don't have any money. Do you guys have any packages? Maybe we can kind of pay Rob Paul to pay, I don't know. She was like, okay, well, we do have a part-time worker, who will be there for 10 months and as opposed to the 12 months that you guys have been, receiving them. So, the plan for next year is to utilize them on a 10-month basis. So services would begin, 8:15 and 6:15. When it's 6:15, and then those 2 months, the students will be without them, and then we'll pick back up. The families will pick back up, in August. So, we're doing this way. I thought it would be wise to do it this way so that we can kind of maximize the amount of providers that we're able to pay for. And then if we secure PCD money, then we can bring back the full time. All right, and then One Nation, over the last, I think, 3 years, they presented to us a tier 3 program model. Tier 1, the students receive daily classroom instruction. They have, they build relationships with their parents. They do some coaching, and then they do planning and working with the families in the community. And as I stated before, that's important. Tier 2, influencers and alumni, they do weekly check-ins. They do informal coaching, out-of-school support, and participation in trips. And then Tier 3 is that intervention phase where they do mediations, they kind of focus on the school climate, so they're in the lunchroom interacting with the students on a daily basis. They do submit data to me, and they collect data on a daily, weekly, and quarterly basis. And some of the data that they look at to see how, how their program is running, they look at grades, observations, surveys, behaviors, and they do check-ins with school staff. They are a part of our district crisis plan as well. Brother Lloyd is just phenomenal. We paid him to run this program, but I called him and I said, Brother Lloyd, we need some volunteers for our wellness day for our teachers. He was like, I got you, Dr. White. And he was there. And so just, being present for, not only our students, but just for our school community, I think is really important. And just some of the data that he provided me, they had over 462 contacts with students this year. They provided daily lunch support, and then they had documented school administrator meetings, they had documented peer mediations, and then they also participated in parent. So, like the other 2 programs, I said, look, we don't got any money. Brother Lloyd said, I just want to be there, Dr. White. And I said, well, I respect that. This is your livelihood, though. And he said, look, I got you. I just want to be there. So we do plan on decreasing the amount that the program costs. And he's currently kind of working on what that will look like. I believe it's going to kind of still look the same, but based on, what we're able to provide him, it may change a little bit. All right, just some things coming down the pipe, and I'm done because Ms. Terry Lawson said you got 2 minutes, and I'm beyond that. So, I am currently, we have Strong Women, Strong Girls at Wilkins currently, and they are planning on piloting a middle school program. So obviously with Losing Turn Up Your Life, this is a free program that could potentially replace that. It is a mentorship program. So I did fill out the application to receive, to get that program, fingers crossed. There is a potential opportunity to still receive funding through the Justice Discipline Programming. We just haven't heard anything. And then, good news, we were selected. I just was at the AIU today. We were one of 5 schools selected, for a SEEKS grant to focus on opioid prevention. When she told me we were selected for this, I was like really surprised because I was like thinking about our area, and I'm like, I wouldn't think opioids is an issue, but
It is.
according to the health department, yes. They use the ACEs scales, and we were one of the highest.
Mm-hmm.
So, really kind of focusing on how we can prevent, looking for the signs in our students, to try to prevent those opioid overdoses. And through this grant, one of the things that we are required to do is purchase an SEL curriculum, which we need for all of our schools. But that curriculum, they want to focus on also drug and alcohol usage. So that's coming down the pipe, and so that's pretty much all I have. Any questions? I'll have those contracts for you, so I'll present those contracts in August. we're at.
Thanks for taking
Thank
that.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thorough.
Dr. White, appreciate you. All right. There's a lot. And that's, thank you for sharing that, Pam. And I'm glad to see that we do have that grant to address the issue that we have in this community and others with opioid use. And like Dr. White said, I would have never thought working with the Department of Corrections opened my eyes to a lot. And opioids, it's a sad thing. It's sad to watch, and it's such a secret, right? Because unless that person, you either know them or you see them in that moment, you walk past that person every day and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Not knowing that they just got up off of their bathroom floor, they're struggling. So I'm glad to see this grant in place because people are hurting, and it's just not. All right. Registered speakers.
We don't have any.
No registered speakers, anyone? Okay, public comments.
We have Mr. Robert Flanagan Bay.
Good evening.
Please, excuse me,
Robert Flanagan Bay.
excuse me,
right off-
Mr. Flanagan, didn't mean to interrupt you. Please refresh your screens. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I watched the Woodland Hills graduation, having been to a number of Woodland Hills graduations that were held outside over the years. Plus 10 years on the board. I found it very unusual to not see all the board members on the platform. I don't know what the reason was to change it. But like I said, I've never been to one or seen one over the years, and we're talking about going back to the early 90s. I thought that I thought it was very disrespectful to the board members to not have them on that platform. Something that's been tradition. I thought that when leadership did not talk to board members when a union person but was under contract, applied for a position, got removed from it. They filed complaint on it. They won, and none of the board members knew that this was even taking place. None of them knew the results. To my knowledge, to this date, you don't know the results of that, of what took place when the situation was being considered about settling. All board members should have been a part of that decision-making process. It was not. So when will the disrespect towards board members, and I know you got a lot of new people who don't necessarily know, and this is why I come up and I speak on some of the things I do to let you know what rights and power you do have. Just like you have the power, it's just 5 of you were in agreement about changing leadership, you could. That's all it would take. Second, a motion, and 5 in agreement. So again, to not have board members, the contract thing was was one type of disrespect, but this was a public, to my feelings on it, was a public display of disrespect to certain board members. I don't know if it was feeding ego or what as to why the other board members were not on that platform. And as opposed to having them on the side with the rest of the audience / parents.
That's your time, Mr. Flanagan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else registered?
Anyone
I
online?
mean, any
I
public
didn't get anyone to
speakers online?
register.
I mean, any public speakers online? We'll head down to policy.
Motion to approve the third and final reading of policies listed and attached, part of the PSB Policy Maintenance Review. As you can see, the policy 000, Board Policy Procedure Administrative Regulations, policy 001, Name and Classification, 002, Authority of Powers.
Yeah, it says third there. I don't know why.
Oh.
It's second. I apologize.
Third, motion to approve the third and final. Policy 004, membership, 005, organization, 006, meetings, 006.1, attendance at meetings via electronic communications. Policy 007, policy manual access, 008, organization plan, and 011, principles for governance and leadership.
Recommend.
Second. Open the vote. Any questions?
Second or third?
It's second and final reading.
Any questions?
So I have a couple of statements about this. So one, even as far as like, public comment, there's been discussion about like what the public can say and trying to like limit certain things. So one, my concern about that is, as we've seen here, in the past, people speaking on issues and them being interrupted. And on top of that, something about like, people making, personal attacks. I can't think right off the bat if someone actually made a personal attack from there, an actual personal attack. But even when people are making comments about, or, expressing their dissatisfaction with something, procedure or whatever, it's being labeled a personal attack. So it's like, if we don't understand what a personal attack is, how can you hold the public, to something like that? It really doesn't make any sense. On top of that, when some members of the public, and that's Mr. Flanagan Bay and Mr. Tim Reed, have made comments, sometimes they've been interrupted, and in some cases they've been told that they were making false statements, things like that, and they weren't. Those are personal attacks. So I think if the board wants to try to hold the public accountable for something, which one, you can't do too much of that anyway. You can't do too much limiting of their free speech anyhow. They're certainly within their rights to go and contact the ACLU if they want to do something like that, if that continues. But one, you need to understand what a personal attack is, what confidentiality is, before you try to like implement something like that, or even say something like that. Because I know a long time ago, we had a different board president. Something like that was said, and they didn't try to move on it or interrupt the public after I stated, you can't do that. So one, that needs to stop. And two, you can't, if you don't know what a personal attack is, them saying that something's missing or something's wrong, that's not a personal attack. It shouldn't be taken as one. Also, another problem I have is with some of the policies stating something about just like a decision being made just by the board president. That hasn't been working out for since I've been on the board, but especially the past few months. Over the past year. In particular, when board member Sarah was banned from school district property without a board decision. So I don't like any policy, especially now, that gives the board president authority to just make decisions without the board's knowledge and without the board's approval. So that's all I have.
Open the vote, please, Kelly.
Online voting is open. Closing online voting. Motions. Passes 6-2. The. I wasn't sure if it was policy or.
3-2. Recommend action, motion to approve the second and, is this reading right? Motion to read, doesn't look like it's reading right. Approval of the second and final reading of the retirement of the following policies, part of PSBA policy maintenance review. Policy 006.2, meetings, policy 008, organization plan.
Recommend.
Berzewski second.
Call the vote, please, Kelly.
Online voting's open. Closing online voting. Motion passes 7-1.
Policy 3.3, motion to approve the second and final reading of policy 309.1, telework.
Griffin move.
Second.
Second.
Any questions?
You guys are getting so good.
Call the vote, please, Kelly.
Open online voting.
Thank you.
Closing online voting. Motion passed 7-1.
Thank you. We'll go down to board matters. Motion to move, a motion to pass May 7th, 2025 committee meeting minutes. Recommend.
Alan Thomas.
Thank you
second.
very much.
Questions? Can you open your vote? please,
Yes,
Kelly?
Online voting's open.
Our backup singer right here. Yes.
Dr.
AT.
Dr. AT. That's what they call him too, Dr. AT. Mm.
Closing online voting. Motion passed 7-1.
Looking for a motion the second to approve the May 14th, 2025 agenda setting meeting minutes.
Berzewski second.
Second.
Oh.
Any questions?
Like the first one.
Online voting's open.
We'll let you have at it. Is that a second?
Last meeting, so, yeah.
Closing online voting. Motion passed 7-1.
4.3, I'm looking for a motion to approve May 21st, 2025 legislative minute meetings, excuse me.
Griffin move.
your turn, Mike. It's your turn. Belmont second.
Any questions? Please open the voting, Kelly.
Online voting is open.
Looks like the board's ready for their summer off.
Yep.
Closing online voting. Motion passed 7-1.
5.1, we seek a motion to approve all items by consent under the consent calendar category for the June 18th, 2025 meeting.
I'm gonna pull 6.1.
With Lion second.
Yes.
Okay.
Babe, 6.1 isn't under this.
Okay, so we're not gonna.
Yeah, the
okay,
consent's only the five.
Only the
fives.
fives.
Okay.
Okay. Open the voting, please, Kelly.
Opening online voting. Closing online voting. Motion passes 8-0.
And school finance. Jill. Okay.
6.1.
Yeah, we just need to get a motion in a second, right? I think you do.
School finance, 6.1.
Okay.
We seek approval of the June 2025 bill list.
Kimber second.
Any questions? Can you open up the vote, please, Kelly?
Online voting open. Closing online voting. Motion passed 6-2.
6.2, we seek ratification of the bill list for invoices paid after May 21st, 2025 legislative meeting.
Alan Thomas seconds. Move, yes.
Any questions? Please open the vote.
Online voting's open.
I'll let somebody else. You got it. You got it. Let her have that. Like you wait till the end. Till I'm there. I'm almost done.
Getting a little slow in a second. I was like, look, slow in a second. We're on our second.
Keep it first. You got it.
More spaces ones. Okay.
Just say all the.
Closing online voting.
Yeah.
Motion passes 6-2.
Oh.
6-3.
6.3. Wait, you shouldn't have sent me that link. I'm distracted. 6.3, we seek approval of the final general fund budget for the 2025-2026 school year.
Line second.
Any questions? Please open the vote, Kelly.
Online voting's open. Closing online voting. Motion passes 6-2.
6.4, we seek approval of the May P card report.
Line second.
Any questions?
I have, just a quick question for, Jill. And that is just, it occurred to me in looking over this, that it seems like the elementary school, oh, never mind, Alice, I see Mrs. Klein is on there. But I just I never see the elementary school, principals on here, and so I was just curious if they had cards, and now I know.
Yes,
I
they do.
answered my own question. That is all.
And we have started addressing concerns brought up last week.
Oh.
So we have drafts going right now, and we should have something by August.
Okay.
Super duper.
Opening online voting.
All right.
Closing online voting. Motion passes 6-2.
6.5, we seek the acceptance of the April 2025 fund reports and student activity reports for the informational purpose only.
Griffin move.
Mazuski second.
Any questions? Please open the voting, Kelly.
Online voting open. Online voting closing. Motion passes 7-1.
6.6, we seek acceptance of the investment reports for April 2025 for informational purposes only.
Griffin moves.
Timber second.
You're happy now, you're really good.
Any questions?
Madam
Please,
President.
Kelly.
All right, online voting is open.
Brandon.
I was singing it.
Miss Nancy's question.
I'm thinking, I'm a tenor, so I won't say. I just need a little explanation of that, just a little. Just tell me, talk to me about it.
I'm gonna close that real quick about the investment reports.
Yeah.
That's just, so the funds say, like, the funds we get for the tax collections and that, they come into like one bank that doesn't collect any interest. So those funds are then transferred to one of the other banks where we can gain interest on them. The investments mean that we lock them up into, like, a better example would be a CD, to make a higher interest rate. So they're locked off for a period of time. So that's like listing what we lock off, what comes due for maturity, what's going in to be locked up, and what interest was made on it.
Okay, you may have to sit down with me. I'm gonna take it from here, but I just. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna reopen online voting.
Yes, ma'am.
If you voted before, you'll have to vote again till 7. Okay, closing online voting. Motion passes 7-1.
Just let me get this. Oh.
Before we go into, well, it's the new business, right? Yeah, okay. Any 7.1, old business, anybody have any old business?
Actually, I could bring something up under old business. So this is something that's been going on for a little while. Happened a little while ago. So, with the Hoop organization, so both times that was on the agenda, I had voted against it. and I cited the same reasons, both times for it. And my issue was with Kathy being in the school district. So one, the last time that, so when it was time for them, their contract to be renewed, while it was on their renewal was on the agenda, Kathy started calling my job and she showed up at my job the day before with someone, the day before we were to vote on it. The day of the vote, a couple hours before the meeting, she sent an email to my job. And one of the statements that she made, because actually someone had told her off about it, someone she put in the email. She made a statement saying that she watched me drop my daughter off and pick my daughter up from school every day. Yeah, so I personally don't like to get law enforcement involved if I don't have to. But it got to the point where I had to go and at least put something in writing about it, because county, like at the county level, I know that I don't have any faith in the county level. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and take this I did reach out to somebody from the state also, but I'm not gonna let this go. But here's my point. One, I already said, and some of the folks who voted for that already know there's an issue there, right? We already know that. I don't care what I've been through in my life. If it gets to the point where I'm trying to intimidate an elected official or anybody anyway, then I don't need to be around people. And for anybody to do that, because we know I'm going to say something, for anybody to do that to me, knowing I'm going to say something, something's wrong, right? And what if this is happening to other parents on school district property? No, and before anybody says, oh, well, you didn't bring that up before, you shouldn't have put her in here before. We already know that wasn't a good idea. And on top of that, two of my predecessors for this seat, because I know one of them personally also put something in writing with the police department in this district because of an incident with her. And when she did, she found out that her predecessor had to do the same thing for her. So one, I'm not really concerned about what people think of me, because I'm still going to keep doing what I do, like me calling things out or whatever. I'm not making anything up, so that's too bad. But one, I'm not going to take that. And if anybody else does something like that, we're going to have a problem too, because I'm not going to, even though I know how to defend myself and I'm used to being able to, just tell people about themselves and just moving on. This is the reason why people are afraid to get involved with politics. You don't call my job. You don't show up to my job before a vote on an organization or anything that has anything to do with you. I'm not tolerating that type of stuff. I'm absolutely not going to do it. And so even the statement about watching my daughter, me drop my daughter off and pick my daughter up, I purposely, especially during that time, did not drive the same car for a reason. So, and one, I'm not the only person who drops my daughter off. And so you can't be, if you are watching my daughter, you see my daughter every day, you're watching for my daughter. So you're watching my daughter go and get out of a car and go into the school. And you're watching her come out of the school and get into a car. That is a problem, right? So again, you're going to do whatever you want to do. You already did it, right? But that absolutely, one, I'm not letting it go. And yes, she shouldn't be here. Another thing, under old business. Because this also ties to it, and that's also asking for, like, when we ask for statements and things like that. I don't know, like, and I spoke to a lot of people. I also spoke to other elected officials, higher ranking elected officials. I don't know why we would feel comfortable being called out multiple times for not providing a board member with financial statements, but we purposely, because it's not just me, purposely waited to see what would happen with some of these things. So one, there's no reason to not disclose the names of the people who had P cards. 19 names, haven't received those. The paper statements, still haven't received those. And then to be told not going to give that to us, you can't make a informed decision when we don't have certain documents. If we ask for it, then we should receive it. And so, yeah, I'm not going to, the intimidation thing, because that's not the only thing that happened. There was something else that happened when my daughter was a problem as well. But one, I'm not going to stop asking for stuff. Two, we want to do things like that, like try to intimidate board members. I already reached out to a couple of state agencies about this, and and already started reporting stuff. So I'm not going to sit and I'm not going to lay it out here, everything that I've done, but I'm not asking for these things for no reason. And we don't have the same state administration. We have a different attorney general now. And yeah, I'm not going to stop. So bringing my child into it, day one, when she goes back to school, she doesn't, I don't ask for my kid to receive any sort of preferential treatment. She's a kid. She's not going to learn. If I even tried to throw a waiter, I don't do stuff like that. She needs to be able to go to school and be safe. Your decisions on more than one occasion made me want to pull my kid from school. I'm not going to take any sort of intimidation, period. My daughter is to be left alone as well. And that's all I have today.
Thank you. 8.1, new business. I'm going to start by reading a couple of the things that are going on in the Woodland Hills Impact Center. I'm going to share a couple activities. Right now, there's currently 75 campers there. It's a very busy place. The daily activities include art pottery by the Rivers of Steel. Very interesting group, very artistic group. They're actually doing a mural in Rankin on 4th and Hawkins. So they are literally spending a lot of time with our children and with our community. It's great for Rivers of Steel. They have STEM through CMU, gardening through Green Edge Technology on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Boy Scouts on Mondays. Let me skip back to pottery. Pottery with Rivers of Steel is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. They have academic work, math and English every day. Gym time is every day. Oh, fishing is Wednesdays. Campers are fishing. And center also has open gym on Wednesdays, depending on the weather. And field trips are Fridays. It looks like, he says, we're still in the beginning of open weeks, making adjustments, but everything is running smoothly. And that is from Glenn. Just wanted to share that under new business.
Mr. Bridge is also going to paint pickleball courts.
Oh,
there.
okay, good. Everybody's been talking about it's coming, so, yes.
We're in several weeks ago from everything that's been going on, graduation, whatnot, it has been delayed. I'm sorry to say. but-
Oh, it's also been raining, like they're, you know, Noah built the ark here, buddy, so it's okay. Yeah, it's been raining. Can't play pickleball in the rain.
And
Can't paint, right?
Dr. Malushnik has something under new business also.
Yeah, just a couple things I didn't put under superintendent report, but just getting through the community visits. We've been picking away at those, starting way back in February or March, with Miss Reed at Churchill. And then Mr. Belmont and I and Eddie making a few of them, going to different SUVs at North Braddock last night. We're still trying to get through all the community council meetings. So it's been good to get out there and talk to the council, the people who are showing up and so on. And staying after sometimes and even get to have other conversation with some of the community members. So I appreciate both for setting those up, and we're gonna continue to pick away at that till we get through all 12. We are getting some more information out about the summer recruiting of charter school students. Again, we want to get some of that out again to push that out there for students and staff. We're looking at possibly including 16 years and older, 11th and 12th graders. So Wilkins just had an audit done of their PBIS fidelity. And if I'm missing anything, let me know. But we got awarded for our PBIS fidelity work at which is good because I know how tough it is. And we were just talking about it earlier. So anytime you have a third party come in and assess our programs, that's great. And getting that feedback, whether it's good or bad, because even if it's bad, what do we need to do to fix it? I want to I didn't get a chance to last week. I want to thank Dan, Pedro, even Kia, over at the high school, and everyone who helped with the planning of that graduation. That was my first experience with that whole process, making sure everybody was safe, making sure the facilities were ready to go, technology. Kia kind of leading some of those conversations over at the high school. So luckily we got it in time and everything went okay. We're gonna, take, and I appreciate Mr. Flanagan Bay's comments. We'll take any feedback that we have to continue to make it better every year. And I also want to just make a comment. I appreciate Dr. Tracy Conti for being there and giving her words of wisdom. Couldn't ask for a better person to be on stage. So just some great, alumni here. I mean, even the Tony Award winner that we had that was awarded the Wilkinsburg Education Foundation.
Yes.
And that's impressive. And he was class of 90, trying to remember what it was.
I think that Rashad was class of 01, but he might have been 90. Was it older than 01? Maybe it was 97.
Maybe it was that.
All of 96 to 2001.
I was gonna say, don't do it, Eddie.
But
Look it up.
But
We're gonna find out.
to have a Tony Award winner,
Right.
alumni, that's very impressive, So what's his last name?
Change.
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 Pretty sure because 97 was like the best class ever, everywhere. Come on out here.
Lastly, I just want to thank the board, communities, these last few months here. I did talk to the board earlier. I'm going to prepare something over the course of these last 3 months, at the end of June, just a 90-day just assessment of what's going well, what should we do, what's not going well, what we need to do differently, some opportunities and so on. But I want to thank the executive team, and some of them are sitting out there right now. There's things that, they've been very supportive, very supportive. And I know I need to fix a few things on my end and get better on things on my end. But I appreciate what they do, and it's a good team. I heard it was a great team, but it is really a great team, the skills and knowledge and insights that these people have. So I'm going to get better, make sure we're better. So I want to thank them out there. So thank you for taking a lot of load off of me. So thank you, all of you. So appreciate it.
Really quick for new business, 2 seconds, because I'm trying to be out of here.
Me too. I got new business.
If we can have on the agenda for August, to relook at the Jason McKenna consulting contract. I looked at it throughout the past couple iterations and things that he had. The first one was completely incomplete. There was information missing, like it was a template. Then it was approved with some things on there. Then the 5-year contract came out when the 1 year wasn't went over. There were things in there such as internships for students. I don't know if we've gotten that. There were things about clubs with RMU. I don't know if we've done that. So there's just some things in the contract that was supposed to be done. And we have not received a report from that. So I'm concerned that we're paying $50,000. So if he's breaching the contract, then we need to terminate those services and move forward. Just my concern.
I'll bring the team together. We'll go through the contract piece by piece and get.
Especially because it's 5 years, so it's till 2027, I think, so we still are locked in. But that might be some savings. My main concern was if we're saying we're gonna give our students internships with a tech company and none of our students have that. I think that's just disingenuous and we need to relook at our students there.
Understood.
And I just have some more of a celebratory. I had a chance to see the Peace Divas or the Divas of Peace.
Oh.
So, they started this, peace assembly, and so they brought in about, and I'm gonna just look over here to say like it was about 7 districts, but there were like 5 schools within Pittsburgh Public. And we actually obviously went as well. And I'm saying this because it was student led and and I felt so good when I say my Woodland Hills kids came in and I was like high five because I knew some of them, right? So it was really encouraging to see the connections that they were making amongst each other. Because the goal was to see across all these different geographical areas, what do we have more in common? And unfortunately, what they have is pain that they share.
Yep.
And so the start of this is gonna be something amazing because when something's led by students, this is the next generation. And when we talk about our future legislators and elected officials, that's gonna be important that they learn and understand how their voice has a part in society. So it was amazing to see that and looking forward to more of it. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
I got a couple of things also just because. I want everybody to be aware that the volunteer wing of the Woodland Hills Foundation, which is called HUGS, is having more kickball and Kona events this summer as they have for the past several summers. So the first one is wrote it down here on my paper, didn't I? So it's next Tuesday.
Yes.
It's June 24th. It's at it's at Koenig Field, which is in Edgewood. If you are on Facebook, they have an announcement on the Facebook page. Super fun. The first 50 kids get free Kona ice. If they haven't hit you up, Dr. Wojcik, they haven't hit you up to be a celebrity pitcher. It's I'm sure that invitation is coming.
Time is out.
Good. What time is that? Let's find out.
Can you multitask?
6 p.m. next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Game 1. They also, they give out prizes and it's fun. It's kickball, it's for the kids.
Thank you.
Okay.
And also I just wanted to ask because I cannot remember, when is Woodland Hills Community Day this August?
August 16th.
16th? Okay, great.
Was it 11 to 2?
I wanna say yes.
That's 11 to 2. Yeah.
And then Glenn's having another
It's,
function like,
yeah, it's
right
after.
after.
Radio's there. It's 1 to 6.
yeah.
What
Stay
date was
area.
it? I apologize.
I think it's August 15th and
15th.
it's at the Rankin, or I'm sorry, it's at the Impact Center.
Oh, it's not,
It's at the,
Dixon?
it's at the Impact Center.
Okay,
Were they? Didn't see. So, okay.
yeah, that's where it's always been.
It's that Kennywood's ticket sale.
I don't know.
I usually buy on the website and then just, they're like,
You have to use a code for your school district or.
When is the?
yeah, but it should be.
It's next Tuesday,
Oh.
the 24th.
Good luck, it'll be 92 degrees.
Yes, it will.
Maybe when
Won't be-
go to San Francisco.
It should be interchangeable, like one or the other, right?
Yeah, they do have those passes.
It's gonna be an announcement.
Yeah, teachers get free pass.
All right, good job, everybody. That's a good announcement before everybody goes for their summer break. Take your passes to Sandcastle. You get in free through the 30th of June. What?
Do we gotta take kids?
Wait a minute. I don't know. I ain't getting in on that. Wait, you can sneak off, but yeah, take your pass The
Oh, you
same
gotta go.
from the 22nd through the 30th of June, and you get in free. For members too.
Nice.
Yep.
Can I borrow a couple? I have 3 kids. I need.
You can buy them like something on the beach.
I'm not gonna be here.
Right. So 9.1, we seek permission
Move.
to adjourn the June 18th,
Don't talk to me.
2025 legislative meeting.
Dr. Atia moves.
Second.